You're listening to Binging the Devil's Fruit, a One Piece manga read-through podcast where sometimes during the binge, we take a break, kick back, and put on a movie or TV special. And sometimes we even bring along friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Binging the Devil's Fruit. I am your host, John Mukiwara JM, joined as always by my co-host, Chad Peanut.
Hey!
And this is our very first recording of 2026.
Yeah, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
We haven't recorded together in 2 months if you don't count the Super Awards Round podcast.
Oh, damn right. I forgot about that.
Well, actually 1 month because we recorded the final episode right after New Year's. But as far as Binging the Devil's Fruit is concerned, we didn't record together since November. So much has happened since then. So I was going to save this for the manga episode, but I figured it's worth mentioning here, and it'll be related to something else we're going to talk about in the podcast. Christina and I checked out the Netflix house that had just opened in King of Prussia.
Awesome.
And they have all kinds of One Piece stuff there. The big thing being they have a One Piece themed escape game. It's themed after the Netflix adaptation. So we started out by Christina and I getting arrested by the Navy. We were me and a group. There were two guys there, and I want to give a special shout out to these two guys. I forgot their names. I think one of them's name is Matthew, and I think the other one was named John. They actually subbed to the channel after we hung out and had lunch together at the Netflix house. And I told them about the channel, so I did say it would be a late shout out, guys. But shout out to the both of you. So we did the Netflix house game. Where it was basically it was my very first escape game where you had to solve puzzles that were One Piece themes mostly, and you were trying to find the sacred devil fruit that's being hidden. And I don't think, well, you know what? It's an escape game. You're not allowed to talk about what happens in the game, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. I recommend it if you're able to get out to a Netflix house. There is one in Texas too, so if you're a Texas listener, and hopefully they'll be spread around the country. But also they had Top 9 Golf, which was it's indoor mini golf themed after their top 9 shows. So One Piece had a whole, Stranger Things did, WWE Raw even did, Is It Cake had one, Wednesday had, so on and so forth. It was a lot of fun. I would Austen, the next time you're in the area, we gotta go.
Oh, hell yeah.
I will warn you though, they do not take cash, so bring your card.
Okay.
And they also have
that won't be a problem.
Yeah, and they have a restaurant where you can order food that's themed after their shows. And because this place also does not take cash, the way that you order is there are no servers. You scan a QR code, order from the menu, they just bring it to you. And for you, because I know you love this and I don't, they got a bar.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I can imagine they have a bunch of cocktail themed after the shows and movies.
Yeah, I think they have their menu online. So if you happen to be in the area where one of the 2 Netflix houses are, as of this recording, there's the King of Prussia Mall in Pennsylvania, and there is Dallas, Texas, I believe, and I think they're the third one they're going to build in Vegas. So either check those out if you happen to be traveling, or wait for them to build one in your area. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We were originally going to start our 2026 with a review of the TV special 4 with special guest Prince Luffy. However, due to a scheduling conflict, I decided to swap that around. So today we're going to be talking about movie 7, which I'm going to tell you. Okay, here's how this will probably paint my opinion of the movie right now. I don't rightly remember what it's called.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Thank you, One Piece Wiki. Devin, the giant mechanical soldier of Karakuri Castle. This film, while not bad, is definitely on the weaker side. What I remember most about this movie are 2 things. Number 1, almost every track from the anime, as of the last decade or so, has cribbed orchestra tracks from this movie specifically. Number 2, the director of this movie really likes titty bouncing.
Oh.
Anytime Robin or Nami even so much as move or breathe, their titties bounce. And it is not titillating at all. It's actually quite distracting and not in a good way.
Uh-oh.
I swear to God, it's every movement. It's every movement.
And here I was about to say, even if this movie is mid, at least I get some entertainment out of it. But even they ruin that for me.
Well, I guess we'll find out. But you know how they can find out and watch along with us, Austen?
How?
They can sub to us on Patreon for just $3 a month. Not only do you get access to episodes 1 week before they're supposed to go out to YouTube and all the other podcast platforms, you also get exclusive access to the commentary tracks where you can watch the movie along with us. Unfortunately, there is no perfect way, let's just put it, to watch this film. So you're going to have to sail the high seas and find it yourself, unless Crunchyroll decides to be merciful and make them readily available for streaming. But if you happen to have a copy of this, because I know in the UK they have these on DVD, but the sub only. If you happen to have a copy of this movie, you can watch along with us if you sub to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/superbonusround. But for everybody else, we will see you in the review portion. We are back from watching One Piece the Movie 7, The Giant Mechanical Soldier of Karakuri Castle. And it was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't it was nothing mind-blowing, but it wasn't as bad as the worst we've reviewed so far.
I did not hate it as much as I did the fifth one. The sixth one is a high bar to clear, and I think there's potential for it to be cleared by the later ones we're going to get to. But as far as like the early era of ones that have not been released in the States or dubbed, I thought this one was fine. They actually had a pretty good third act. So why don't we talk about it some more? So, Austen, you're usually the one who does like the summary of what it's about.
Okay, so it starts off right in the middle of the chaos. There's a storm going on, and the Straw Hats are searching a wrecked pirate ship for treasure. But they find a single chest. And they're on this, is like a dinghy boat, where they accidentally set on fire. But Luffy literally puts them back to the Golden Mary, and they open it up, and at first I thought it was like spaghetti, but it turned out to be the hair of an old woman. It's there that a woman robot says that there's a legendary treasure on an island called the Golden Crown, and since without she's desperate, she's acting to save her own skin. The rest of the Straw Hat thinks she's lying, except for Luffy, who believes in it, and she promises them that she'll give them a treasure if she returns her home. But the only way home is with a turtle pose, which I think you said was made up just for this movie.
Yeah, it's some spin on the Eternal Pose, which if you remember, the Eternal Pose is a permanent compass that is locked onto an island. And it's like a combination of the Eternal Pose and like the South Birds. Remember the birds that only face the south no matter what they do? It's the same thing with the turtle, where like Luffy was even poking at it and trying to make it move, but the turtle always went back to its position. The entire time he was doing that, I was like, what if this thing's a snapping turtle that bites his finger? Which shockingly did not happen. I figured that would be like a gift wrapped gag for them to do, but I guess not.
So they follow the turtle pose to the island, and it's here they hear fishermen singing the Shraying song, it's called. About Shrayin, the king of the sea, the golden crown, and how there's a white snake eyes, 2 moons, and the sound of black wind feeling lighter. And it's an old song sung on this island. And she also explains that the name of the place is Mega Island because her son always builds a bunch of mega defense systems. And it's where they get closer that they set off the defense system. But first, the ruler of this island, Ratchet, finds out that his mother's with the Straw Hats, and he gets one from and he snatches her on his like motorized glider, and it says that a first line defense and appropriated robot archers.
Yeah, it's a bunch of archers. It's like these automaton automated arrow defense systems that look like they were designed by Geppetto.
My God. And at least they didn't have any blackface ones. And so
I don't
anyway,
think we have to worry about that.
right? But Sharo just uses all of his sword strings, and the force creates enough wind to just blow them away.
That and like some of the slashing actually did destroy the arrows as they were coming down.
Oh, yeah. And so they resort, Dion and Ratchet resort to Plan B. His opponent, General Magi, he just activates a giant fan and starts to blow the Straw Hats away. However, it also sucks up some of the robots in islands. And so
it overheats it and destroys the blade, which is funny because like when I say a giant fan, it doesn't look like a windmill. It looks like something you'd put in your room when the degrees outside is above 100, and it even has like the little tassels that they tied to like the blades so you can know that it was on.
Yeah, but also some of the robot parts and arrows also just tear up the sail for the Golden Mary. Hey. So because of that, the Straw Hats can't leave the island, so they decide to stay for the Golden Crown. And oh, hey, buddy boy, haven't seen you in a while. You hear the talk about the seventh movie? They use a word that's inappropriate for you, though, and for many other people.
Oh boy, don't remind me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. They realized that the song actually gave hints to what the treasure was, and Robin wrote it down. The first clue was the white snake's eyes and the two moons.
Yeah, they interpreted it to mean like actually two moons, and even Ratchet and his men hadn't even figured this out yet. Like to the point they were using like a literal 3D model graph with a protractor and everything, trying to figure it out. But Luffy on a whim guessed it by punching the two snake eyes on the
it's like
island.
This rock formation that looks like a snake.
And then he punches one of them, and Robin's like, "Wait a minute, do that again to the other one." And they're like, "No, this is too stupid. There's no way." And he does it, and it turns out it reveals a cave. Yes, it was that stupid.
Yeah, but before they can go in and see what's inside, Ratchet and his men and invite him into his castle for a party. And my God, Nami and Robin apparently had some skimpy dresses on standby for this.
Like, okay, Nami's was one thing, but Robin had a dress that was like not unlike Leela's, where like the belly button being exposed, but the back was like hiding almost nothing. Like it was like right down to her ass crack. It reminded me of like, it made me think like, oh, if they ever made like a Met Gala version of the Virgin Killer sweater, that's what it was.
And yeah,
and yet it's somehow less revealing than what Chappell Roan wore at the Grammys last night. I can't show you that picture.
So, Ratchet and Ash the Straw Hats help to find the treasure, and of course, the rest of the Straw Hats, especially Nami, is suspicious of it. But Luffy, being the dumbass he is, agrees to help him. But during this whole time, Chopper couldn't help but hear a voice from somewhere. So the next day, the Straw Hats and Ratchet and then his two guys start entering into the cave, and
you forgot their names already? You forgot that one of them is named General Honky.
Oh, Honky! How did I forget that?
How did you? That name is incredible.
I know. So, as they enter the cave, it's like some kind of, what was that name of that thing? A hovercraft boat?
It's whatever those boats that they use on the bayou with like the giant fans.
Yeah, the ones for
I'll look them up as you keep going.
When you want to spot alligators.
Yeah, one of those.
So anyway, but the pen breaks and Luffy just improvises by using coiling up his arms as to power the fan.
Really?
But they fall down.
They're called airboats? They're just called airboats. Okay. I was sitting here. I was sitting here wondering, like, oh, it's probably some name I couldn't have guessed, but no, I easily could have guessed this one.
But they fall off a waterfall, and thinking quickly, Sanji tells Luffy to suck up a bunch of air for his gum balloon form, and he kicks him down and he to the water, where they just use them to soften the landing,
which I thought was pretty good. One thing I will praise this movie is they actually came up with some really creative ideas for the Straw Hats to use their powers together to get out of messes. Like, it wasn't just that Luffy inflated himself with the gum balloon. They did that. They used him to land. Sanji kicked him out of the water, and then before Luffy could drop into the water, he deflated and grabbed Zoro, so that way they would land. Now, granted, the landing that they made onto the ground wasn't a swell one, because the boat was destroyed and they were all scraped up and everything, but they're alive.
Very true. So it's there that they discovered this beautiful lake with a bunch of animal statues surrounded it and a bunch of greenery. And instead of that, Robin also finds a pillar that has the final part of the song written on it. Let's see. Time to drink up the blue water jug, the lightning that falls on the green forest, swaying, swaying, the king of the seas, and the golden crown. So, Ratchet just suggests that they just drink up the entire lake, but now Nami just thinks that's stupid, but that doesn't stop Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper from trying, though.
Yeah, they literally try to drink it, and they don't even get a meter of the water. They don't even get a meter of the water to drain before they get full. Oh, right. I remember. Right. Luffy he climbs to the top of the statue of a heron, and he's hopping on it like an idiot. But the entire time he's doing that, the weight that he's putting on it is crushing it, and the support legs of the statue give way, and then the heron statue falls forward, and then the beak pierces the bottom of the lake, draining it. So the entire thing was them, they turned the statue into a sippy bird. Mm-hmm. One giant sippy bird. Except it was one sip, and the beak pierced the bottom, it drained the water, and it revealed the secret cave.
Yeah, so that's one mystery solved, but let's see. They also discover a passage underneath. But during the chaos, Luffy ends up stuck head first into the wall. So Robin, Chopper, and Shanji go to investigate the passage. But during that whole time, I'm imagining he sneaks away from the group. Ominous. So Robin and the group reach the top, and to their side, at the top of the mountain, they find a bunch of barnacles growing up there, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, because
it's all covered in calcium, and barnacles only form underwater.
And it's there they also find this dome. It's like a shell-shaped temple.
Yeah.
Where they see in it, this glitters and glows. But back with the rest of the Straw Hats, Nami discovers a lance sticking out from the bottom of the lake. So she uses her weather tempo, what's it called?
Weather tempo, you were pretty close.
Yeah, signature weapon, the weather staff, to conduct a small thunderstorm that shocks the lance, and soon the entire island starts to fall apart within its true form. A giant freaking turtle.
Yep, and the entire time during the commentary, I'm like, oh my god, it's the Vanishing Isle from Aladdin 3. Although it's not quite like that because they were on the turtle the entire time, and it's not like it just came from the ground.
Yeah, so it's there that Ratchet finally does his double cross, where he knew the island was a turtle this whole time, and that the song wasn't leading to the golden crown, but rather how to wake up the turtle.
Yeah, I remember during the commentary, I'm like, wait, so you didn't know this was a turtle? I forgot that he was lying the whole time. So that's on me for not realizing that. But what really gets me in this scene is like this guy is so full of himself. He's giving his speech with like a megaphone, Den Den Mushi with speakers, but he's like standing like 10 feet in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see. So Ratchet reveals that at his castle, he built it to prepare for this moment, to take control of the turtle and use it as a weapon to take over the world.
Of course.
So a bunch of cables start shooting out of the castle and hook onto the turtle to control it.
When it really just looks like just one big fish net that it's caught in.
But Luffy asks about the treasure, to which Ratchet insists that there is no treasure. And it said that Machi finally returns. He scoops up Ratchet and Hunky and just bombs the shit out of the Straw Hats.
And he says like, oh, violence isn't my style. Well, then don't be violent.
Mm-hmm. And so that they reunite with Chopper, Robin, and Sanji. And let's see here. They decide to head back to the castle to try to stop Ratchet. They break in, but Chopper keeps hearing the turtle's voice again. He insists on staying behind to try to talk to the turtle. But to make their way to the castle, they fall into this garbage chute trap, which it turns out it's also filled with some seawater, which renders Luffy and Robin powerless. Yes, but they're actually freed by Ratchet's butler. And the old lady, let's see, what was her name again? Let me scroll back up. Yeah. Roba, free them. Roba told Ratchet's butler to keep an eye on him because he wants him to stop his plans for conquest. And while she asks the Straw Hats to forgive her because she now knows that there is no treasure, while she doesn't want her son to be such a bad boy.
Yeah, because one thing we neglected to mention in this review portion is Ratchet gives off big incel energy because he lives with his mother.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like constantly up in his business. And he's like, he literally does the whole "not now, mom. I'm being a supervillain" vibe because he uses her mechanisms in the castle to like get her out of his room or whatever. And I kept making jokes. It's like I'll stop my evil plans if you make me some pizza rolls, and as long as you don't cancel the internet bill.
So Luffy agrees to stop him, and while Roba's hoping that he'll go easy on her son. And so they manage to make their way up to the top of the castle, although they are following Zoro, so they almost just run right out. And it ends up with Zoro and Nami falling off into a roller coaster, like the freaking Minecraft Madness coaster.
Yeah, I pointed it out like immediately as soon as I was like, oh, I hope you guys like Donkey Kong Country because I almost want to put like a Diddy hat on Nami.
And Chopper also learns from the turtle that it wakes up every 1,000 years in order to lay eggs. And so as the turtle starts moving, and Luffy he decides to run up ahead to confront Ratchet. And meanwhile, on a track, Maji, he follows some robotic car with a drill, plan on ramming them into pieces. Yes. So Sanji and Robin are soon attacked by Honky, who's in a mechanical suit.
Which funny enough, it does not have proper oxygen valves. Because like he's towering over Sanji, and he's almost like doing like his best impression of Darth Vader. But it's not because he's got a breathing apparatus. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He does not have one, and he rips the helmet off when he realizes he can't freaking breathe.
Yeah. So let's see what was I. So, at the top, Luffy faces off against Ratchet in one of his mech suits, which Luffy thinks is cool. But he doesn't think so much when it almost grabs him and pierces him with a drill.
Yeah, this thing almost looks like the ride pods from Mega Man X.
Let's see. But Luffy manages to trick Ratchet into destroying one of those wires stand on him. Like, at first, it looks like he knocks Luffy off, but Luffy just drags him off and smashes it. And let's see. And back with Sho and Nami, Machi, turns out he's got blades, and Sho says, "Oh, blades, finally it's a fair fight." So he tells Nami to hold on as he jumps off, which Nami's like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah, he gets off the minecart and leaves her to it as she runs away, and she's yelling, "I'm gonna kill you when I slow down."
Yeah, so hops off and uses his swords to fend off the blades and easily decimate Maji's cart. And back with Sanji, it looks like Honky has the upper hand, but Sanji kicks him repeatedly in the face. It's his only exposed point. And once he's weak enough, up and distracted, he kicks him right out of the castle to the walls.
Yeah. These fights are like really entertaining, but they end pretty quickly.
And back on the ground, Ratchet faces off against Luffy in his second mech suit.
The Iron Man Kun Mark 34, I think it was.
Yeah, and it has a boat, and it's on a freaking small boat.
It's the same thing as before, but it has boat legs.
Yeah, and Luffy's cracking up because it's stupid. But Ratchet keeps insisting, "No, it's not stupid. It could be on land and sea," and just has tiny little legs that can barely walk.
Like, you ever see one of those wind-up rubber duckies with like the little flat feet? Like, and the worst part about it is like the shore he's trying to climb onto is on a steep incline, so it's not even reaching land.
So he hastily retreats and fights Luffy in another mech suit he has that isn't finished yet.
It's like a turtle that's like it's like almost about as advanced as the automaton. Yeah, we forgot to mention the fucking animatronic maids. Then this thing is about as slow as them. It's like honestly, they are all wind up things. They all have the wind up key on them.
Yeah, but Luffy manages to beat Ratchet's third mech suit after his legs start to bulge a bit.
Oh,
not sure what that's about.
Oh, and a couple of episodes. So those of you that are One Piece fans already, y'all already know what that is. For Austen, I ain't telling him shit for a couple of episodes.
Okay, so he manages to decimate the robot, but they have another problem. All the cables are still hooked up to the castle, controlling the turtle, and it's about to crash into a nearby island. So they had to destroy the castle, and they use but Nami has a plan, and they have Usopp shoot out a cannon from the Going Merry, and let's see, how did they pull this off again?
So Usopp shot a cannon at from the Going Merry towards Sanji. Sanji intercepts it by kicking it up. Zoro then further knocks it up towards Luffy. Then Luffy, who has his hands firmly planted on the ground, well, first he did the Gum Gum Storm thing that he used to beat Crocodile, but then as he's going up, he grabs onto something for support on the ground, but he spins his body and rapidly increases his size through stretching, and he turns into a gigantic buzzsaw. He catches the cannonball, and then as he spins with it, creating a massive saw and cuts the entire castle in half. But
yeah, I got it. Huh?
But before he can cut into the turtle, Zoro stops him.
So now the turtle is free and starts laying its eggs, and the crew starts begin to leave. Since there's no treasure and all that are left with is a winking turtle cloaca.
Yeah, I could not believe they animated that. I said, "Why is the turtle's leg not a painted background?" And I'm like, "Oh no!" And they showed one single egg pop out, and I would prefer I never saw that.
But it's as the turtles are hatching for the eggs, Luffy realizes that the gold crown that the song was referring to was actually the golden turtle eggs.
I wish you wouldn't talk about crowns after we talked about a cloaca.
Well, turns out it was a true gold crown the whole time.
Yeah, the shells, the shards of the shells that the baby turtles were born from, when partially submerged in water, give off the shape of a crown.
Yeah, so they tried to take one of the shells with them. They tied to the back of the boat, but it just ends up sinking in the water.
Yeah, because gold's heavy.
And meanwhile, in the end credits, they show Ratchet getting spanked by his mom for trying to take over the world. Which got kicked at me.
Like, I was fully expecting to like talk over the credits and give our thoughts, but I saw that and lost it.
Yeah. And that's the end of the movie.
So, I guess we go through our categories before you give our final thoughts?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll just say briefly, I thought, like I said earlier, this was definitely not one of the worst ones. I wouldn't call it one of the greatest either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, it was average.
Yeah, I'd say it's like above average. It's like the beginning was quite slow, but it picked up by the end. Because like I was worried it was going to fall into the same trapping that movie 5 did, where even as the climax was beginning and the art improved, it's just like, that was the other thing about this movie so one of the only things I remembered about this movie before I watched it with Austen was every single time Nami and Robin even so much as moved, their boobs jiggled. Even from just turning or like raising their head. They had to have a secondary action, which to me isn't a secondary action because there was barely a primary action. So it was really strange.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the two most perverted members of this channel.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. And even when they were like you know how in a lot of hand-on animation, when a character is far away from the camera, they're a lot less detailed to the point where they almost look like a stick scribble.
Yes.
Even when they were like that, their boobs are still jiggling.
Yeah, they gave their boobs more action than, drawing to them. Whoever this director is so fucking horny. And this is coming from me. This is coming from Austen.
Mm-hmm. So pointless.
All right, so for those of you not familiar, we have categories where we categorize pieces of this movie, what was most memorable and vice versa. So our first category is who is the most valuable pirate, the MVP of the movie. Austin, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay, let me think about this real quick.
I have my answer unless you want to go first.
Hey, you go first.
Finally, for once, Nami is the MVP of the movie.
Yeah.
Why? Because she used her negotiation tactics to try and reason with Ratchet and get answers about the riddle. Because she's like, I don't know if we should help. You kind of just told us there wasn't a treasure. Now all of a sudden you want to help us and there is. I don't know. Maybe if we negotiate us getting most of the cut as an apology, we'll help you. And also, she wasn't kidnapped.
True, very true. So, and let's see. My MVP is gonna be an easier one, and then it probably gonna be annoyed, but it's Luffy.
I mean,
he did take down a big bad, and the help of the other Straw Hats saw through an entire castle.
Yep. Sawed it completely in half.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, who was the least valuable pirate? Which pirate contributed about as little as humanly possible?
I got an answer. Chopper.
Really? Really?
Yeah, all he did was talk to a turtle and ran into... And also, his voice was a little off.
The reason for that, Chopper's voice was off because Ikue Utani, Chopper's Seiyu, who many will know as the Japanese, well, the voice of Pikachu, the Japanese voice of Morgana and Persona 5, and many other iconic roles. She was on maternity leave during the production of this and 10 episodes of the anime. She did eventually come back, and I think she never took a hiatus again after that. But yeah, she was pregnant at the time and was getting ready to have a child, so she took 10 episodes. That's about 4 months. She took 4 months off.
Oh, wow. And also didn't really do much on the fight scenes.
I disagree with you because Chopper being able to talk to animals, he learned what the nature of what the turtle was and what it actually wanted and was able to talk to it. So I don't think it was all that useless. He didn't do much, but it was pretty important, at least in my eyes.
So who do you think did less?
Usopp.
Okay, you got me there.
Usopp does what he does best, comes up with reasons for why he doesn't want to go on the island. Hell, he even faked scarlet fever so he wouldn't go in the cave.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
All right. Now we can move on to the best scene. What was the best scene in the movie?
I got one. Okay, it's still the end credits where Ratchet's mom is spanking him for trying to take over the world, because I was not expecting that at all. Like, out of all the films who get the comeuppance, he just gets disciplined by his own mom.
Spanking him in public.
Trying to enslave humanity, will ya?
I want to be mad at you, but this movie actually did have some funny scenes. So my favorite scene was a scene that I actually remembered during the course of this, leading up to recording this review. During the middle of Ratchet and Nami's negotiations at the dinner party, Luffy lets out this blood-curdling scream, screaming Nami's name, and then the whole conversation stops to a crawl and music stops. And they turn around to find out what's wrong. And it cuts to Luffy being in all of this tiny little wind-up toy, passing him a refill of his tea. He's like, Nami! Look at this little wind-up toy. He's making my tea. And Nami just kicks him so hard, his face is implanted into the wall. What sold it for me was Mayumi Tanaka gave one of Luffy's most horrified screams of Nami's name to make me feel like something was very wrong. But it was just a gag. So that's my favorite scene.
Okay.
All right.
And
that leaves us to worst scene. What was the worst scene of the movie?
I think I'm gonna steal yours. The winking turtle cloaca. I don't know why they had to animate that, but they didn't have to.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. It was like, what, the final third to final shot of the movie? Why did they do that? You couldn't just animate one of the pearls coming out? Not what it was coming from?
Yeah, that was really bad.
God damn it. You don't leave me with a whole lot here. One of the things... One of the things I have the biggest problem with the movie is not one scene in particular, but there's so many scenes. It's the freaking boob jiggles. But it happens in 1,500 shots of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Can I give that as an answer? The boob jiggle?
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, every time Nami or Robin's titties bounced. Because many of those times, I argue even all of them, were not necessary. There wasn't no even pervy titillating. See, that's the worst part about it. Usually, if you're going to do that, it should be for like a titillating, sexy scene. There was no such thing in this movie. Why were you doing it? That now brings us to our next segment, which is the best fight, which we've actually gotten rid of in the past couple movies, but I don't think we should do that here. I think there were some pretty great fights in here, but what was your favorite?
Luffy versus Ratchet, without a doubt.
Luffy versus Ratchet and his many machines, and some some lame, some not as lame.
Not so lame.
Honestly, go finish.
Like, I was getting Eggman flashbacks, but it turns out it was, to be honest, a pretty cool fight. And how One Piece fashion got ridiculous when he went up against his second end fight.
Yeah, where it had like the wind up paddle feet. For me, I thought. For me, were you not done?
And finally, that final fight, which you said teases something in this future.
Yeah, something happens in the middle of the climax with the fight that the manga had addressed, but the anime had not yet. So it was a tease. We're gonna get there though, I promise. Within a number of episodes that are in a single digit, I promise. My favorite fight, honestly, I thought the minecart one was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one. And like, I don't think we see that many fight scenes on minecarts or roller coasters.
Yeah, I'm gonna we have a worst fight segment too, but there really only is one other one, and that's Sanji versus. Actually, you know what? Can we both agree that the Sanji versus Honky one was just kind of eh?
Yeah, you don't see most of it anyway.
Yeah, it's just he takes his helmet off because he's short of breath, and he cuts back to him, and Sanji just beats him. Funny, but not worth it. All right, so our third to final category will be an interesting one. We must rate the villainy of the villain. Austen, how would you rate Ratchet on the One Piece movie villain scale?
Let me think about that. I rate him a Dr. Wily out of one of those gay porn stars that you think is hot, but turns out he's gone full MAGA on 9.
Yeah. I give him a Dr. Nefarious out of Elon Musk. Because he, like, don't get me wrong, he's a twink. He's got his titties out. Those don't bounce. And he's a super genius, but he lives with his mother.
Like most quote-unquote super geniuses.
Not now, Mom. I'm trying to take over a turtle. But yeah, I thought he was generally entertaining. Like, compared to the other movie villains who are just like kind of he's kind of, he's no Baron Matsuri, but he's up there. Like, Baron Matsuri mostly comes from like his backstory and how tragic, like, and also that fucking evil ass flower he had. But I thought he was entertaining and how bombastic he was, how he felt like he needed to announce his presence. Like, he's standing 5 feet in front of you, but he's using a megaphone. I thought that was entertaining. His flunkies, not so much. I couldn't care less about that. But him, he made them worth it. And I was going to say, our second to final category is rate the opening and ending. And we didn't get to enjoy this one too much because we were suddenly flashbanged by Ratchet getting spanked. That being said, it was bumping. It was a nice little funky island beat, and I caught myself moving when the steel drums kicked in, but it didn't matter.
Spanking to the beats.
But God damn you! But it was short, as soon as the steel drums kicked in, I was just like, oh, it's over already. So yeah, that's about how I feel. It was enjoyable. I wish I just got to hear the full version because the credits were very, very short this time around, especially since this is a theatrical movie. All right, so that brings us, unless you had some thoughts about it.
Oh, I forgot. And who I was really going to nominate as the worst SVP.
Who is your...
The guy who did the freaking subs for this using a word I cannot say. refused to say.
Yeah.
He was going to be my worst VP.
Yeah. But that brings us to our final category, which is the fruit score. How would one rate this movie? Our final thoughts, and how would we rate it? Would you like to go first, Austin, or do you want me to go first?
I'll give it a 2.5 gums out of 5.
2.5 out of 5. So that's like not bad, but not great either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it was a bit avid. It's not the best, but it could have been far worse, especially the stingers we watched in the past.
Mm-hmm. For me, I might give it 3 gums out of 5.
Oh.
Now, most of it has to do with the fact that with the soundtrack, because apparently the Toei Animation thinks the soundtrack is good because they've cribbed it in the anime ever since. Like, remember during the commentary, I kept saying, "Oh, this is where it came from. This is where it came from." I'm not kidding. If you watch the anime, and you'll they use those 3 tracks I pointed out constantly. They're still doing it to this day, and I keep thinking, this is where that came from. This movie. That being said, despite my issues with the anime, it wasn't just the titty bouncing that bothered me in the animation, but like when they were in the harsh lighting with like the light being cast on the straw, and then they only did this to the Straw Hats too. Like they looked like porcelain dolls.
Yeah, the line was weird.
Yeah, that and some of the drawings and like the background shots of them. Some of them left a lot to be desired. Putting it as mildly as I can. That being said, though the first 2 acts really took its time with like the riddle about the A Secret of the Islands and everything, once the villain's motivation was revealed and it got going, it moved and it was very, very entertaining. So not bad, not what I'd call among the best, but pretty dang good.
Uh-huh.
So that leaves us with one last thing to do before we end today's episode. Something that I hadn't thought to do at all during these movie reviews.
Oh?
Something I completely neglected. You know how we've been doing tiers for the arcs in the manga? Why haven't we been doing that for the anime itself?
Oh, Sin, you're right.
Well, the movies, as it were. All right. So, do you want to put this movie on the tier maker first, or do you want to start all the way back for movie 1?
Let's start from the beginning.
So, where would you put movie 1?
Let's see. That was the hand-painted one with that racist Native American character, Joe, right?
Yes.
I give that one a D.
D. Wow, I thought you'd go for F.
Yeah, Usopp had a few funny moments. So that goes into D. And what's the second one?
The second one was... Hold on, let me go to the wiki, look up the... I just realized it's recording the... I'll just use a still image. A lot of One Piece. Clockwork Island Adventure. King and the lady that had her ass out. That's all I remember about that movie, I'm sorry.
Oh, when the fucking fart...
Yeah, the fart guy!
That one's an
That
F.
one's an F for you? Movie 2 is an F. F for fart!
Mm-hmm. Oh, dear God.
Movie 3 was... Alright, let me bring it up on the... I'm going to bring it up on the wiki on my phone so I don't have to mess with the recording.
Oh, Chopper's Kingdom of the Strange Animals. That's
another F. That one was that bad, huh?
Mm-hmm. It was insanely boring.
Yeah, I think that would classify as boring as shit. Like this was clearly a vehicle for Chopper, and not a good one. And also, it didn't make any sense because it took place before Alabasta, but Vivi was either. So we couldn't tell if Vivi was either hiding in the cabin before they went to Alabasta, or this was right after Alabasta, and Robin was hiding in the cabin. Someone's hiding in the cabin, and they didn't show up for this whole movie.
And that brings us to the next one.
Dead End Adventure, the one we did with Lift Queen and Maddox.
That was the one with the candy food guy.
Yes.
Oh boy. I'll give that one a D. It wasn't as boring as the other ones, but nothing to write home about.
I would honestly give it a C personally. I thought it was like up there. It was like of the early ones, it was pretty not spectacular, but good. I remember us really enjoying that one, mostly because of the company we had with it, but it was pretty good.
The company was great, but not enough to save off as a movie. And Broken the Cursed Holy Sword.
So you would put movie 4 with the first one, really?
Move it to a C, okay.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, D was bad.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I remember about the first one was, oh my god, wait. So if that story's true, did you die? No. That's the only thing I remember. The Cursed Holy Sword.
Definite F.
Oh wow. I mean, fair. Despite having,
with show as the main focus, it was so boring.
Zora was the main focus. The animation was on point. Had great music. Story sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be the dumbest question I have to ask you. Where are we putting Baron Matsuri in the Secret Island?
Okay, let's see. That one's going in the A.
A? Okay.
Oh, wait. Like, the art style, the director's art style didn't exactly mess well with Oda's art style, but the story itself and how this sudden dark horror turn, it made it super memorable for me.
Yeah, I thought this was incredible. It was entirely carried by the story and tone.
Mm-hmm.
Mamoru Hosoda's art style, you can either take or leave. But for me, I thought for the purpose it was serving is setting up the false sense of security before it turned into horror, I think it worked for it. So but I'm happy with it being an A, because honestly, Baron Monster is not even my favorite movie. We haven't reviewed my favorite movie yet. So that leaves us with movie 7. Where are we putting it?
The Giant Mechanical Soldier of Karakuri Island. C.
Right next to movie 4.
Yep. Not bad, but nothing spectacular either. Very middle.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to put the other ones that I haven't seen, so I can see how many movies we have left. Oh God, I forgot there was a 3D one. I haven't even seen that one. 3D animated one, and it's
no.
Well, I haven't seen it, so that should tell you everything you need to know. So here is the official Binging the Devil's Fruit tier list for the One Piece movies. Nothing in S yet. Baron Matsuri in the Secret Island, the 6th movie, is an A. Nothing currently occupies B. Dead Island Adventure and Karakuri's Secret Island, or whatever you want to call it, movie 7, is C. One Piece the movie is in D. And F is movie 2, 3, and 5. So that's going to do it for this review and our reviews of the movies for a while. The next movie, dear Lord.
Should I be scared?
You're going to wish we had an original story instead. Because we're getting to the infamous abridged arc movie.
Oh boy.
And this was the first one that they brought to the States, so we'll be watching that. This will be one that we don't have to sail the high seas for, because it was the first movie that was released in America. All right, well, until then, we have one more special episode after this, but until then, thank you guys again so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast, be sure to check us out on patreon.com/superbonusround, where you get access to episodes 1 week before they're supposed to go out to the public, and also the commentary tracks where you can watch this pretty alright movie and the other ones along with us. So until then, I have been John Mugiwara JM.
I've been Chad Peanut.
And we'll see you guys next time for episode 84, where we're going to review One Piece TV Special 4, the story of Boss Luffy. I forgot what it was actually called, but I know it's Boss Luffy. And speaking of Luffy, Prince Luffy, returning guest, will be with us for that one.
Oh, yay.
So remember, when binging the Devil's Fruit, Make sure you don't do it after midnight or Mama will spank you. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for binging The Devil's Fruit with us today. If you'd like to enhance your binging experience even further, for just $3 a month, not only do you get access to episodes 1 week before they go live for the public, you also get exclusive access to our commentary tracks for our One Piece anime movie special reviews on our Patreon. The review episodes themselves will always be free to all listeners, but if you want the commentary tracks, that's patreon.com/superbonusround. Thanks for your support.